keep on trying. I'm about that life, never quit. I'm about that life, keep on striving. I'm about that life, keep on pressing. I'm about that life, keep on shining. I'm about that life, keep on dreaming. I'm about that life, never stopping. I'm about that life. I'm about that life. I'm about that life. You know, they say I'm dreaming. Yes, I'm dreaming. So what? I don't care.
She's about that life.
I'm about that life. It's a dream thing, y'all.
Today on About That Life, I sit down and talk to an extraordinary person. She is a model, dynamic public speaker, and author. She says her purpose is to embrace God's abundant joy and life, and to assist women in success and finding their purpose. She is also the founder of Glowed Media, a company dedicated to helping entrepreneurs thrive through efficient social media streams. Here is Joanna Mills. Thank you, Joanna, for being here with me today.
It's an honor to be here with you.
So, how do we know each other? Do you remember when we first met?
Maybe not the specific day, but I do remember the season. We met at our church, Victory Bible Full Gospel Church, and I just remember this bright, lovely, just full of energy, full of joy. She was just such a light. I was like, her, like, I have to be connected to this one. And I just remember seeing you just being so like happy and so inviting, and just such a warm personality that you had, and you were such a blessing to us. So yeah, so we have a dance ministry at our church.
Yes.
And I was already a part of it, and then Tam came on board, and that's how we became friends. But yeah, like I said, like how we became friends is because of just your inviting spirit that you have.
You have that too.
Oh,
honestly.
thank you.
Everyone kept comparing us.
Yes, we were called twins.
Yeah, that was
so
like
not just the curly big hair and
yeah.
the light brown skin situation going on, and we're both kind of tall, but personality wise too.
And that was what, almost 10 years ago. So that's
I can't believe that was almost it feels like yesterday.
Yeah.
And by the way, at this time she was not quite married yet. She was engaged, but now she's a whole wife with baby, got the whole family situation going on. But yeah, 10 years ago. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And I didn't know at the time that you were modeling. So what led you into modeling?
Well,
I mean, just give us all the details of your career. What have you done, and your start?
Yeah, so actually I am from Richmond, Virginia, and what led me to California is the pursuit of entertainment, like so many of us, like most of us, we aren't really.
No one's actually born
here. I mean, I meet a few friends who are like born and raised here, but yeah, so I came out here to pursue that, but then I would get random compliments from strangers. They were like, wow, you're really beautiful. You should try modeling. And it was never a thought or an idea for me, but I'm also tall as well. And so
how tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm 5'10", but I never envisioned myself to be a model, because growing up in a Christian household, fashion for us and modeling, it was kind of one of those things where it's like, that's the devil's world, kind of a thing. And for me personally, I always saw it as a very vain industry. So I never had any thought that I would pursue that. But yeah, I mean, and it's also one of those things where like you keep hearing people say the same thing over and over about you. It's like, okay, all right, let me just give this a try.
Right.
So that's eventually what I did. So yeah, I got my headshots done, and eventually
size card.
Yeah, I got all of that done. And yeah, eventually led with an agent. But what's interesting is that I got a lot of work done without an agent. One of the biggest shoots that I ever did was me as without having an agent, and that was for Vanity magazine, and it was
nice.
for Chrysler Fiat. We were on the back lot of Universal. That was one of my first jobs ever, is working at Universal Studios Hollywood. And I used to dream about working on that lot. Like I would get on, like you would get on the tram and then you would see like all the actors in the studios. And for me to be on the lot as a talent was like a dream come true. Like people were waving. I'm like, little did they know, like I'm a nobody, but I'm a talent today on this set. Like it was just amazing. And then the magazine and the issue came out, and
do you still have it?
I do.
Yeah,
I do. I still have it.
That's so cool. Where you like just lay it out on the car?
You know, it was they no.
No.
I don't think I would do one of those. Just FYI.
I asked about like swimsuits, like
I wouldn't do that. It was very what's the word, like I want to say it was very fashion. Yeah, it was very fashion and very very polished. It wasn't, I think those, what you're talking about, what genre is that? It's kind of
the girls in
the girls in the car. Yeah, it was none of that. This was Vanity magazine, a little bit more classy, more Hollywood, a little bit more polished, and the car model was Chrysler, and so so think more like family and fashion.
That's good.
I guess, but yeah, I was wearing this kind of silk dress with flower prints. My hair, it was not like that at all.
And was it a fun shoot?
It was a very fun shoot. Like I said, for me it was a dream. It was a dream come true. Everybody on set, everybody had agents except for me. I don't know how I got that. That was God's blessing for sure. But I was like, how am I here? How did I even get here? But God thought it fit for me.
Absolutely. Did you build up any great connections? And
I didn't. So that's one of the things that I could definitely work on, is building connections and networks, because I know in this industry that is how it works. It's all in who you know. But this was a while ago actually. I think usually on set you try to like exchange like social media profiles and numbers, but you kind of lose contact with people over time. But,
so speaking of friends, do you have friends that actually model?
Not anymore. Not anymore. I've kind of taken a step back from modeling, actually, just to add a little bit to my modeling portfolio. I did pageant. I did pageants for a little while.
Wow, nice.
And
I know a few pageant queens, so
I did that for a couple of years or so, and then I just kind of stopped from there. I have made some friends along the way, but we've kind of like lost touch. But now, ironically enough, I do want to get back into modeling.
Yes. Come on.
So we'll see where that goes.
Please do it.
But right now, I don't believe that I have any friends in modeling as of now.
And you touched on the pageant world. How different is the pageant world to modeling?
Oh, it's like night and day. It's very night and day. So what I'm really good at is being in front of the camera, having comfortable body language and smizing, right? Like using my eyes and my facial expressions.
Thank you, Tyra.
Right. Like she was a goat. She was the best in that. So yeah, I was really good at that. But what pageants required is more of a technique. It was more formal. So you had to walk a certain way. Obviously, you have to use your speech and your communication, and those skills are very transferable anyway. Because if you want to be a like a commercial actor, like yes, his one it's a good thing to have um, that camera presence, but if you have to give a line or two, you know what I mean. So that definitely helps. But it was that world. It is a lot more. I was gonna say it's a lot more competitive, but both lanes of the modeling in terms of commercial modeling and pageant modeling, they're very competitive. But with pageant modeling is more direct competition. Like you're seeing these girls every day, and you know that eventually, like only one is going to win the competition. So,
how do you handle competition?
knowing who you knowing that this is not a comparison. You walk into the seat. I didn't know this then, but I know it now. You walk into the room and you just fully embrace who you are. Like we are all uniquely talented. We could all be, models and actors, but there's something about when Tam walks into the room, she has a certain light, or it's her laugh or something. And I may walk in the room and I carry something a little bit differently. And then, too, as we all know, it's like you can't even take it personal because it's not even you, it's something that they have in mind that they're specifically looking for. So I think just really owning like who you are, and I think for me personally, like having faith, I think really goes a long way. Like being solid in your faith and who God has created you to be, just knowing that He knows the many hairs that I have on my head. Like what I have, like I don't know how many. Like you see how big my hair is, like, and just really knowing that He's created me with a unique identity, purpose, and calling. I think just being solid in that really keeps you grounded and not looking at everybody else, just being focused on like who you are.
I think can't change.
Yeah, you can't
too much about who you physically are.
Absolutely.
So, did you always have that mindset when you first started? Did you always have an awareness of who you were and that you couldn't? So, how did that come about?
No, I mean, I want to say yes and no, but what I've learned is that you're always growing and evolving. Like there's always going to be certain stages. So yes, back then, because I was in my 20s, and for the most part, I've always been pretty grounded in my identity. Like I wasn't out here like trying to figure out who I was per se. But I'm a lot more grounded in my identity. And I think it just comes with years of experience. Like wisdom really is obtaining knowledge over the years and actually applying that wisdom. So I think it's just living here on this earth. Like I think life is the best teacher that you can ever find. And now that I'm a little bit older, I look back in my 20s, I was like, oh, I thought I knew it all, but obviously I didn't. So yeah, I would just say that it's experience has taught me that to be a little bit more grounded in who I am in terms of identity.
And with any career pursuit, there's ups and downs.
Yeah.
And I know that in the modeling world, it's a lot about how you look physically.
Yeah.
So did you have a lot of pressure put on you about the way you look? And did that affect you mentally? Did you lose sight of why you were doing this and why you love to do it?
Yeah, so definitely. So height requirement, check. Looks, I guess, check. I've been told I have a nice nose for modeling and eyes and like all the features and even hair. So in terms of like physical looks, I never, and I don't mean to say that in a prideful way. That's just how the industry is. But so I met a lot of those check boxes. But yes, in terms of weight, that has always been a struggle for me because when I started, it was you had to be a specific size, and I was never skinny. Like I've been the same weight pretty much all my life, and so I remember when I started to audition runways for like different fashion weeks and things like that, I was told that I was too big. And so that was really discouraging. That was like, I don't know, like maybe 15 years ago, but now it's like plus size modeling everywhere. I'm like, where was this when I started modeling? Like, I love how it's fully embraced now, even with our hair, like everything is starting to change. And so that's so really good to see. And yeah, and so this same casting director who told me that I was too big or whatever, like I didn't really, luckily, because we talked about identity, like it didn't break me, you know. I was like, all right, you know, I can't, there's nothing I can do about my weight. Like, yes, I can work out, but it is not going, I'm not going to drop it like that, you know, for the purpose of this fashion show. And so anyway, fast forward a couple years later, I actually did lose weight. And the same casting director who rejected me for not being for not meeting weight, actually 2 years later, I actually did make the cut for LA Fashion Week. And so I was like, in my head I was like, you don't know, but this is like a full circle moment for me. But yeah, I had lost a little bit of weight, and by that time it was a little bit more, I guess, fashion forward of accepting different types of weights.
Is there really an issue with, eating disorders when it comes to modeling? Did you witness that at any time?
I personally have, yes, it's true, but I was never in the fashion world. I think in the fashion world, where you have like high fashion, like we were talking about New York and Paris, and because my sister, she used to do New York fashion, and I remember she was sitting in a chair, she was eating a burger, she was already a 00 at this point. Wow. And
I didn't even know there's a 00.
Oh yeah. They're really tiny. So and so yeah, I don't know, I can't remember if it was the makeup artist or whoever, but basically she had to put the burger down. For me, I always kind of stuck to like commercial modeling, and then like the LA region. So it wasn't as much.
Do they lean towards more natural look in commercial?
Yeah. The market
more
is
everyday
a little bit
person.
Different. Yeah.
And you said runway. So what runway shows did you do in the past?
Not too many. It was mostly LA Fashion Week. So
That's still amazing though. Like Fashion Week is serious in the fashion world.
Yeah, it was. I mean, just to say that I did it, I would consider it a win. Yeah, for sure.
Any designers that you still remember that resonate with you?
I don't. I don't remember, because everything happens so fast. It's a matter of, can you fit this? Can you fit that? Okay, we need you to put on this. We need you to put on that. Okay, I need you to go here, there. So it's just like everything is just happening so fast. Yeah. So it's like a bunch of designers. I mean, again, it just depends on, the event, because sometimes you can have like multiple designers. Sometimes your designers can already pick their models. And so yeah, for me, I don't necessarily recall.
What's it like doing a runway? Like, how did you get your walk? I know you have to work real hard to get the walk down.
Yeah, you do, which is why I haven't done a lot of runway modeling, because I'm not very good at it. Like, my thing is,
you do some strutting.
My thing is more so like commercial modeling and things like that. Like photo shoots, that's where I excel. Like, I really excel in like photo shoots. I have poses. I got you all day.
Let's see a pose right now. Come on. Oh, okay.
I have to get up. But
what's been like your most memorable photo shoot that you've done?
It would probably be the Chrysler one. I'm trying to think back. Are there like any others besides? I would have to say it's that one again,
because that was your first one. It makes sense.
And it was
And you were on the Universal Studio Live.
And I was on the I don't know. I'm like, God, please give me another opportunity like that, because that to me was one of the, because it was like a full on production.
Oh, nice.
Like there were trailers, there were like
food service and everything.
Craft service, like all kind of makeup artists. I'm like, I don't know how again I was there, but.
And we mentioned Tyra Banks, and you said that she was, she's a goat, as people say. And have you ever ran into Tyra, or did you ever audition for America's Next Top Model and everybody was upset?
That is so, that was such a really good show, and we've learned a lot from Tyra. Like I used to watch her talk show and her reality show, but no, I didn't, because going back to competitiveness, I was like, I just it wasn't something that I was up to. Yeah. But I've watched the show and learned from her, and her ideas and her advice, just from watching her show, actually like stuck in my head. And one of the biggest things is they would always shoot, for example, if it's spring, they may need you to do a shoot in the winter. It's cold outside, but you have to think it's mind over matter.
Yes.
And so, actually, I think that's applicable to almost not just modeling, but anything. Like you're in a different, you're in a work condition that may not be as ideal, and so put your mind to mind over matter. Just work through it.
And so when you're a model, you're introduced to all kinds of different fashion and, designers. Is there someone that you love to wear just on a regular basis for yourself? Is there a designer or a line that you love?
Believe it or not, she is a designer, but more so on the handbag side of things. Kate Spade, God bless her soul. Every time I go into her store, it's just my eyes light up, like, because I'm a person who's very bright, I think, and I'm attracted to that. And so like she has colors that are so bright, so full of life, and her products are very feminine.
Nice.
And it just,
I need to go on there. I don't.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's
just walk past it.
I left a couple. I actually have a couple of her purses in my trunk. I didn't bring it in, but it's just so. It's very feminine and just very beautiful and very classic. Like I just love classic beauty, and to me, that's really what she represents. And so. Yeah, and she just has these really beautiful colors, like greens and pinks and blues and reds. It's just timeless, like timeless classic designs.
So do art and modeling fit well together?
Yeah, absolutely. I think modeling is an art form. I mean, if it were the case, right, everybody will be a model, just like photography, right? Like, yeah, you can take a camera and you can shoot. You can take your camera and shoot, but when there is the artistry behind it, that's kind of like what sets it apart from everything else. And so, as an actor, like you have to convey emotions, and sometimes you have to go to a different time in your life or experience in your life to convey those emotions so that your character becomes believable. And I think that can be translated into modeling as well. Like you're trying to sell a product, you're trying to convey maybe happiness, maybe God will bless me to do a Kate Spade campaign ad where there's a type of brand or idea that you need to fit into this campaign, and you need to mimic whatever that is. So. Yeah.
You were talking about earlier about certain things that you were willing to do and not willing to do.
Right.
Do you think you can have standards and be a model and successful at the same time?
That's a really good question. So for me, I've actually have taken a step back from modeling in the past few years because I kind of um, I was in corporate America for a little bit and I was kind of like juggling both. And then I ended up getting this position, like a lead position. And it was, yeah, it took a lot of my time. And so now I'm in a space to where I can start to pursue modeling again. And I have that same question. Can I still, go into the industry and still keep my own moral standards? I believe the answer is yes. Obviously, you have to stay true to who you are and that identity that we talked about, and you have to not compromise. And I believe that will demand a certain level of respect. Now, I think at first people will be like, what? Like, who are you? Who are you? But I mean, I even think about, Devon Franklin and the standards that he set when he was starting his career, that he didn't want to work in on the Sabbath day. So I feel like, and they honored that. I think originally they might have they tried it, right, but he stayed true to that. So I think if you just stay true to your standards, and now I'm in this space in my faith where I'm a lot more solid now than what I was before. So I don't see myself doing any type of compromise. I do believe that there is a market for wholesomeness. I mean, not everything has to be raunchy, not everything has to be, so revealing. There's something to be said about classic beauty and just being able to project those images. So I just have to find what brands work for me, and I believe that it's possible, and I believe that I don't have to compromise. Really knowing who you are and what you stand for. What is that saying? Like, if you don't stand for anything, you fall for anything. And so, yeah, just stand tall. Like, literally, I am tall, but I have to stand tall in who I am and what I won't compromise.
I love that. I'm happy that you're gonna start going back to doing modeling. Truly. My last two questions. This one is two questions combined. How would you define modeling, and how would you define beauty?
Modeling is to model. It is, yeah. So
It's an art
model,
form.
model it is an art form. So to model is to put yourself in a place to convey an idea or a concept, and to bring that alive, but to also bring your authentic self along with that as well. That's what I would say is to model. But I think even bigger than that, a role model is being someone that actually holds standards, and someone that in leading the way, and not compromising. So it's kind of you have I guess it's twofold, in a sense that, like, yes, you're modeling, but also modeling the way, even for yourself and others.
And how would you define beauty?
What do they say about beauty? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I did a quick research on the beauty industry. It's like a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, and I just recently started to get into makeup myself, and products are expensive. So what is beauty? I I will say this: it actually really does start from the inside. It really does, because even when, I mean, we live in LA, we live like in Hollywood, right? And so you can run into the most beautiful people all the time. And beautiful people are everywhere,
Yes,
out here anyway. And so I think what makes a person stand out is their the beauty within. That will take you so much further, being just grounded in who you are, knowing who you are. To me, that is what defines beauty, and staying true to that. Now, as far as like the exterior, like, I think we see beauty in different in different ways, but it is crazy because in different parts of the world, beauty may look this way, and in another part of the world, beauty may look different in that way. But I would say this: beauty is what catches your eye. Beauty is what catches your eye. And I'm so glad that we are living, like, you can just walk down the street and just see like so many flowers, but there's just one that stands out. Like, there's the beauty in that flower. Like, you're walking down the street and you see, I don't know, a group of girls, but like maybe one girl, stands out because it's her confidence. Like, you're attracted to that beauty. So I think whatever catches your eye is what can be defined as beauty for you. And I'm glad that we're living in a day and age where melanin is becoming the beauty standard, because for so long it was all about the straight hair and this type of European look. And I'm so glad that now we're seeing that dark is beautiful. Like, black is beautiful.
They didn't make you straighten your hair a lot, did they?
No, because
No,
you know
okay.
what, my headshots were, I always had my curly hair, and
Okay.
so
They got what they expected.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's good.
exactly.
Well, I would define beauty as you, inner and outer.
Thank you.
But my last question is going to be, do you like yourself?
That is a good question too. Yes, I do like myself. I think it's a good place to be when you truly like yourself. Not only like yourself, but love yourself. Like, truly to love yourself. And I think that, again, has to do with identity, what your purpose and your calling is, and truly living in that. But yeah, and I think you also like yourself when you do the things that you enjoy doing. But yeah, I think I'm a lot of fun, to be honest. Like, I like myself because I know who I am. I think I'm a lot of fun. Like, I don't need, I don't need people or anything to to where I have to like find enjoyment. Like, you like yourself when you can be okay with yourself. You know what I mean? So hopefully that makes sense.
No, it does. Thank you so much.
Thank
It was
you.
a pleasure talking to Joanna, and it's good to see you all, and thanks for sitting down and listening to me. We'll see you next time on About That Life. Bye.